Luffy is about to release the bound evil prince Loki, while Shanks recruits Loki to become a member of the Knights of God. The first wave of information from One Piece chapter 1136 drops, with the chapter titled The Nation Awaiting the Sun. This chapter reveals more about the Sun God, with some giants believing that the Sun God will be the liberator who leads humanity into a new world, while others think that the Sun God will be the destroyer, plunging the world into a pact. The story of Loki and King Errol is explained, and it's mentioned that 6 years ago, the person who stopped Loki was none other than Shanks, who also became one of the 4 emperors at that time. Therefore, it's highly possible that Loki was once an emperor before Shanks defeated him to become the new one. On another side, after a series of trials, Luffy decides to take the key to rescue the bound Loki. Zoro then states that he and Nami will verify whether Loki's picture is real or fake, and the 3 of them head off to retrieve the key and travel to the underworld. At this time, the pair of black-robed figures who had been teleported earlier arrive at Loki's location. They want to recruit Loki to join the Knights of God, but Loki directly refuses. The black-robed person with bandages on his face is called Gentleman, and he is a member of the Knights of God. There is still no news of Shanks' whereabouts. Upon seeing Loki's refusal, Gentleman immediately launches an attack. He uses long sleeves that resemble bandages as weapons, attempting to kill Loki. Just then, a giant wolf suddenly appears and fiercely counters Gentleman's attack, overpowering the giant wolf. Shanks speaks up, hoping that Loki will change his mind, but Loki still refuses, declaring that he wants to destroy the world. The chapter ends here, and there will be no break next week. Shanks sets sail to capture the giant Loki, and it is rumored that the world has already been destroyed twice. The Knights of God are recruiting, and Luffy denies being the sun god Nika. One Piece chapter 1136 detailed update, titled The Nation Awaiting the Sun, continues right where the previous chapter left off, with the cat crew and the giants starting their feast. Yoruru explains that most humans cannot reach the Sun Realm, and they often mistakenly believe that the underworld is Elbaf, which scares them away. Many giants are fascinated by the Holy Court and Brook because they've never seen other races. Usopp tells the giants about their adventures, such as how he defeated Ors. When Usopp mentions Ors, a giant comments that Ors was a legendary evil warrior in giant history. Mors forces Rod to apologize to everyone. Zoro says, "If Usopp hadn't stopped me, your head would have flown off by now." Rod claims that every giant's dream is to become the sun god and rule the world. Upon hearing this, many giants start arguing because their understanding of the sun god differs. Some believe the sun god is a liberator, while others think the sun god is a destroyer, and some even believe he is the god of laughter. Yoruru continues by explaining that the myth of Elbaf, known as Here, was written in an ancient language that no one can translate, leading to many different interpretations. According to the myth, the world has been destroyed twice. In the giant's myth, there is an ancient image of Nika, long, curly white hair, surrounded by white clouds, holding a sword and a shield. No one knows if Nika will be the hero who saves the world or the destroyer who brings catastrophe. But one thing is certain, he always appears when major changes are about to happen in the world. This is why the rulers fear Nika's existence. Hearing this, Luffy says, "So I am Nika. I must be that guy you're talking about." Yoruru continues, describing how Nika is the sun god and that those who seek hope will inevitably worship him. He must wear pure white clothes surrounded by white clouds, and his arrival is always accompanied by thunderous laughter. At this point, Luffy realizes, so that's why people say I look like him. But he insists, I have no relation to that god. Yoruru continues, suggesting that Luffy's actions might make him resemble Nika, but Luffy is still confused. He asks the giants, is Loki a good person? The giants are shocked and start recounting Loki's past pranks and chaos-causing behavior. He was the cursed prince. In fact, Harald had received a prophecy before Loki's birth that his son would kill him. Shortly after Loki was born, he killed the royal family's lucky horse, and in the same year, Linlin killed the legendary warrior Yoruru. Disasters began to strike the land, and even the queen died a year after Loki's birth. Loki turned the underworld into his playground, using Adam's power to slaughter and tame the beasts there, then releasing them into the villages. At the time, he was only 10 years old, setting fires and destroying everything. His pranks repeatedly threatened people's lives. With his authority as a prince and his terrifying personality, one can imagine how hellish it was when King Harold finally went mad. Yoruru himself was stabbed by Loki in an attempt to prevent him from committing patricide. After killing Queen Harold, Loki set sail to cause chaos, but 6 years ago, he was captured by Shanks and brought back to Elbaf. Upon hearing Shanks' name, Luffy becomes excited. While the giants discuss Loki, Zoro notices Luffy's strange reaction, and they have a private conversation outside the village. Zoro learns of Luffy's encounter with Loki and suggests that Loki might be lying, but they can't know for sure until they meet him personally. As they discuss their plan, Nami interrupts them, saying, "Do you think you can find it without me?" The three of them then decide to retrieve the so-called key and investigate Loki's location. The scene shifts to the underworld, where Shanks and the bandaged woman appear in front of Loki. They have come to recruit Loki to join the Knights of God. Loki laughs and immediately refuses, saying, "I don't want to become scum." He then asks if they are celestial dragons, but they don't answer. The bandaged woman reveals her true appearance. Her name is Gentleman, and she is a member of the Knights of God. Her eyes have different colored pupils, and her arms and legs are wrapped in bandages. Her power is to control these bandages to attack. Upon hearing Loki's refusal, she suggests killing him, but Shanks stops her, telling her not to be too hasty. Just then, a giant wolf jumps out of the forest. Loki orders the wolf to kill them, but Gentleman easily defeats it, suspending it in the air with her bandages. Loki is concerned for the wolf. Seeing this, Shanks threatens that the life of this creature is enough to make Loki change his mind. Loki looks angrily at Gentleman and Shanks and says, "Is this the deal you want? Fine, my friend. This is your tragic fate. Rest in peace." He adds, "There will be sadness and anger, but true warriors don't lose their calm in the face of death. I will consume this anger and destroy the world." The chapter ends here, with no break next week.